It was a cold evening in the city when Ethan, a single dad, walked out of the small diner where he worked part-time. His shift had just ended, and he carried a bag of leftover sandwiches for his daughter, Lily. Ethan's life had been a constant struggle ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago. He worked multiple jobs to make ends meet, ensuring that Lily had food, clothes, and an education, even if it meant sacrificing everything for himself. As he crossed the park to take a shortcut home, he noticed a woman sitting on a bench. She looked well-dressed, elegant even, but there was something strange about her posture. Her face was pale, her hand clutched at her chest, and within seconds, she collapsed forward. Ethan's instincts took over. He rushed to her side, dropped the food bag on the ground, and checked her pulse. "Stay with me," he said in a shaky but determined voice. He immediately called emergency services and began CPR, pressing down firmly on her chest, counting aloud, his own heartbeat racing. Lily's face flashed in his mind. He couldn't let this woman die, not tonight, not like this. Minutes felt like hours, but Ethan's persistence paid off. The woman gasped for air just as the ambulance arrived. Paramedics rushed her onto a stretcher and took over. Ethan stood there, hands trembling, sweat dripping from his forehead, as he realized he had just saved a life. He didn't even know her name. The next day, Ethan went about his routine. He dropped Lily off at school, then hurried to his next shift at a construction site. Life didn't pause for him. No matter how heroic his actions were last night, bills still needed paying. By evening, he returned to the diner to pick up another shift. That's when a black luxury car pulled up outside. From it stepped the same woman he had saved. She was dressed in a tailored suit, her posture strong now, and her eyes searching until they landed on Ethan. She walked inside with a calm grace that made everyone in the diner pause. "You," she said softly, her voice tinged with both gratitude and awe. "You saved my life." Ethan wiped his hands on his apron, nervous. I just did what anyone would do." "Not anyone," she replied. "Many would have walked past. You didn't." She extended her hand. "I'm Isabella Hart, CEO of Hart Enterprises." Ethan froze. He had heard the name before, a billionaire businesswoman who controlled one of the largest companies in the city. And here she was, standing in front of him, looking at him not with arrogance but with genuine admiration. From that day on, Isabella's visits became more frequent. She would stop by the diner, sometimes ordering coffee she barely drank, sometimes simply watching Ethan as he worked. He found it strange, but there was warmth in her presence, something that made him feel less invisible in a world that had long ignored him. One evening, Isabella asked, "Do you have family?" Ethan hesitated, then smiled faintly. "Just my daughter, Lily. She's everything to me." That answer seemed to soften Isabella even more. "May I meet her?" she asked gently. Ethan was unsure at first. Why would someone like her want to meet his little girl? But the following weekend, Isabella joined them at the park. She brought gifts for Lily, a doll, books, and even a backpack. Lily, shy at first, warmed up to her quickly. The three of them spent the day laughing, feeding ducks, and talking. For the first time in years, Ethan felt like he wasn't carrying the weight of the world alone. As weeks turned into months, Isabella became a constant presence. She helped Lily with her schoolwork, attended her small school play, and even joined Ethan in his cramped apartment for dinner. She didn't seem to care that he had little, or that their lives were worlds apart. She simply wanted to be there, but Ethan couldn't shake his doubts. One night, after putting Lily to bed, he told Isabella, "I don't understand. You could have anyone, someone with money, status, someone who belongs in your world. Why me?" Isabella looked at him, her eyes glistening. "Because when I was dying, it wasn't my wealth, my company, or my power that mattered. It was life, and you gave it back to me. Since then, I've realized that the things I've chased all my life mean nothing if I don't have love, warmth, and family. You reminded me of that." Her words struck something deep inside him. For so long, Ethan had felt invisible, unworthy of happiness. But here was a woman who saw him for who he truly was, a man who loved fiercely, who sacrificed endlessly, who gave without expecting anything in return. Their bond grew stronger, and soon it became undeniable that they were falling in love. Still, Ethan struggled with insecurity. Could he ever belong in her world? Could she ever belong in his? The answer came one evening when Isabella invited Ethan and Lily to a charity gala. He wore his old suit, feeling completely out of place among the wealthy guests. But Isabella never left his side, holding his hand proudly. When someone whispered about his background, she silenced them with a single sharp glance. Later, when giving her speech, she shocked everyone by saying, "The man who saved my life is here tonight. He is not just my hero, but my heart." The room gasped, but Ethan's heart raced as she walked toward him, took his hand, and pulled him to the stage. She looked him in the eyes and whispered, "I don't care about the world. I care about you." From then on, their love became unshakable. Ethan continued working, though Isabella offered to take care of everything. He refused to be dependent on her, and she respected that. Instead, they built their relationship on equality, trust, and love. Lily grew up surrounded not only by her father's devotion but also by Isabella's affection. Years later, as they stood together watching Lily graduate, Ethan couldn't help but smile. What began as a night of desperation and heroism had turned into a life he never imagined possible. He had saved a stranger, but in truth, she had saved him too, from loneliness, from despair, and from believing that love was out of reach. And so, the poor single dad and the powerful CEO found their worlds colliding in the most unexpected way. What began with a heartbeat on the verge of stopping became the beginning of two hearts learning to beat together, stronger than ever.